Hello guys and welcome to the video. I really hope that this isn't too echoey. My office is still not totally done yet, but we have majority of it done. But there's still a lot of empty space, so I feel like it's gonna echo. But this is gonna be my new little filming station for sit-down videos. So I wanted to film a Q&A for you guys. I got a lot of questions, so I will probably be doing like 3 Q&As over the course of like the next month or so. I feel like these will be nice to just kind of throw in between my regular vlog style videos. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully you find it helpful. If you have any other questions, please comment down below and let's just get started. Also, my office is on the first floor, so it is like freezing down here. I don't know how to fix it. Like, we'll turn the heat on and it's coming out of the vent, but it gets so hot upstairs and there's like no heat in here. I might have to get like a space heater in here because it's so cold. I don't even work down here. I just sit at the counter instead. So I'm gonna jump right into this. I'm just gonna go down the list and answer probably about 25 questions. I feel like that's probably gonna be good. And then, like I said, I'm gonna do several others in the future. I also have one that's specifically for a relationship one, so Anthony and I. So we'll be filming that hopefully within a week or so as well. Okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna literally start with the first one and just go. Can you still see results without counting macros / calories? So I'm gonna say broadly, yes. If you're just watching what you eat, picking healthier options, controlling your portion sizes and stuff like that, I'm sure you'll see results, but I think that you'll get to a point where you will probably stall. And the thing that scares me about that is people will probably be under eating actually if you're not tracking your intake. I feel like people's instinct is to just eat less to lose weight, and yeah, that'll work, but it also will put you in a pretty bad position to go from there. You kind of get stuck in that low calorie mode. So I don't know, I mean, it's definitely possible. I just don't think it's the smartest way, just because one, you can't really control your intake. It's hard to make changes because you don't actually know how much you're intaking. So I just think it's not the smartest way, but you can definitely do it. I just don't know. It's just not very easy to control, I feel like. How did you turn fitness into your full-time gig? So I have been, I guess, doing this fitness Instagram thing for like 3 years now. And I just started doing it full-time in July. So less than a year I've had this be my full-time job, but basically what I was doing was working multiple things at once. So when I had a 9 to 5, and then when I just did waitressing, all while I was doing that, I was still building whatever I'm doing now on the side. So I was kind of like working double until it became enough to just do this. And it takes a long time, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work and a lot of doing multiple things at once until you can finally get to that point where like, okay, this is enough to sustain my bills, my life, and all of that. So basically, I would say just start doing your side hustle and just keep working and keep building it up. And unfortunately, it means not really having much free time, because when you get home from your normal job, you're working on your side hustle. So you kind of just have to suck it up for a little while and do both until your dream goal job can become the main source of income. So I would say just having to kind of do both at the same time until my fitness did reach a sustainable level. How many years are you going to compete for? Honestly, I don't want to put a time frame on it, but I honestly think probably 2 to 3 more years, unless I do insanely well. I feel like I'm not going to be competing for a long time. I just personally feel like in a few years I'm going to be at a point where competing isn't as important to me. I don't want to say it like that, but also I hope to, in like 4 or 5 years, be having kids, so definitely won't be competing during that time frame. So I don't know, I'm going to say probably 2 to 3 more years, but I can't really put a definite on that. What made you decide to compete? What was it like on the road getting there? So basically for me, it all came down to wanting to challenge myself a little bit further and take it to the next level of challenging myself. So I had done a few cuts successfully, gotten pretty lean with my old coach, and at that point I was kind of like, all right, so I know how to do this. I've done it successfully a few times, and I kind of want to take it to that next level and just see if I like competing, if I like the stage, and if it's something that I would like to pursue. So I feel like after doing a few successful cuts and kind of building enough muscle, I decided like, all right, it's time to just kind of take it to that next level of challenging myself. So the biggest thing for me was just wanting that new next big challenge, because competing definitely takes it to like a new level of challenging yourself. So the challenge of it all was really why I wanted to do it. When did you first start tracking macros? I would say, I think 2016 I started. Do you imagine that you never step on a stage again because you found balance in your life? So I'm not gonna lie, actually, this off season, I've never felt so balanced and just good with where I'm at. And with food, I'm in such an amazing spot. So I will say I do fear to kind of go back into prep and to possibly lose where I'm at right now mentally, in terms of just like having a balanced life. But I still think I do have it in me to compete, and I do want to continue doing that. So I'm just going to keep it in mind throughout this whole next competing journey. The balance that I was able to achieve in this off season, like I can achieve it again and hopefully hang on to it this whole next venture. But yeah, I will say I've reached a balance that I am so freaking happy and comfortable with where I'm at, that it does kind of scare me to leave this, because I know how hard it is to find it, but it's all right. I did it one time, so I can do it again come next off season. But where do you get your design inspo for your products? Would you ever hire a designer? So I actually do have a designer. I have like an artist that I pay to make the designs. For the most part, I give her like an idea of what I want, or like inspiration for what I want, and then she just draws it out for me. Or I'll tell her like, hey, you have full creative freedom. Like, this is the vibe I'm going for, but no real guidelines. And then she kind of just gets creative and draws me up some cool designs. So yeah, I do have a designer. I feel like I need someone to actually draw it out for me. So like, if I have an idea, I can't like put it on paper. I need somebody to do that for me. So I do pay a girl to create the designs that I want. So yeah. Do you ever get bored with lifting? Ever try CrossFit, yoga, swimming, etc.? So yeah, I do get bored with lifting. So that's why I've been trying to kind of incorporate F45. And there are just other like class-based things that I feel like help kind of get your spark back, or just keep things interesting. Sometimes just lifting and just doing it alone all the time can get a little bit boring. So I am going to try to throw in different things from time to time. I will say I don't think I'm really going to do CrossFit ever, but yeah, other than that, I do want to kind of switch it up. What are your best ways to cut belly fat? You're gonna just have to be in a caloric deficit. You can't pick where you lose fat from. So just creating an overall fat loss for your body by being in a caloric deficit is probably gonna be your best bet. What you wish you would have known when you started competing? I feel like I should probably just dedicate this to a whole separate video, but I feel like I was pretty prepared for competing. Although I will say I wish I knew that no matter how much you prepare, you're still gonna have some serious struggles afterwards. I told myself like, yeah, I know I have to gain fat back. Yeah, I know I have to go through this reverse and whatever, but it still hits so hard every time, even though you know you need to do it and you mentally prepare yourself. Sometimes there's just things that you can't prepare yourself enough for. That one's really hard. I think I'm gonna make a whole video about this, I guess, just like involving even like the cost and everything, but I was like fully aware of all of that, so there wasn't much I was in the dark about with competing. I really tried to do my research and watch other people doing it and make sure that it was something I wanted to do, so there wasn't much that I didn't know about or that was like a surprise to me. So I don't really have a good answer for that besides you can never prepare enough. That's probably my only thing. Did you go to college? If so, what was your major? Yeah, I went to SUNY Plattsburgh in New York and I majored in biology. How long has it taken you to grow your hair? So I chopped it to like here in 8th grade. So how old are you in 8th grade? Like 14. So 10 to 12 years I've been growing it. Advice for someone who has a hard time putting on muscle, I would just say don't be afraid to push food. You may have to push more than you're comfortable with, and just stay consistent. Push yourself in the gym. Really try to get your weights up with your lifts and stay consistent and don't give up. I know it sucks, but be patient and just keep on trucking. Might be moving to Cali one day. Tips. So I did a whole video on this. Just search on my channel, was it How We Moved to California or How We Moved Across the Country, I think is the title. Sorry, I don't want to talk about it again. How slowly did you increase your calories? So I have a coach who decides all of this. So he actually bumped my calories up relatively high straight after my show because I was in a severe deficit for a very long time, and we just kind of wanted to get my body back to its healthy state as quick as possible. So we initially added a lot of calories back in, and then from there, it's like I'm adding like 10 grams of carbs every few weeks, probably, depending on how my body responds. I would say in general, and this is so general, and it's depending on how your body responds and the weight that you're putting on, I would say like 5 to 10 carbs every couple of weeks. Sometimes less than that, sometimes more than that, it all depends. Besides your cold brew Starbucks drink, what else do you get? I'm gonna make a whole separate video on this, so I'm not gonna answer that one. Sorry. Do you see yourself staying in Denver for the long run, or is the plan to get back to Cali? So I don't like to make set plans because things don't go as planned. So I don't know. I definitely see myself staying in Denver. I see myself living here forever and raising a family. I also saw myself doing that in California, so I really can't say. I'm very open to options, but both places I absolutely love and would settle down. But honestly, right now, I think Denver is over California. So how do you grow your hair? So I don't have tips or tricks. I literally just don't cut it. I cut it maybe once a year. And then I don't color it, so that probably helps, and that's kind of all I have. I know hair, skin, and nails works really well from First Form. I don't use it really because I don't need it. I actually want my hair to be a little bit shorter, to be honest, because sometimes it just feels like too much. But yeah, so for the most part, I just don't cut it and I don't color it, but I do use heat on it, and I don't do anything special in terms of like maintenance or like special products, so I don't really have advice for that. What are your goals for your next bikini prep? So in the pro league, it's a lot freaking harder to achieve first place. And I have goals of winning a pro show at some point, but I am going in with very low expectations. These girls are all absolutely insane. They look literally insane. So I know I'm going against top level people, so I really am trying not to put too much emphasis on my placing. The goal, I do want to win a pro show because I just think that would be really cool, but I'm going into this prep, whenever this prep is, with not too many expectations, so I don't really have too many goals. When are you planning on starting prep, and will this new adjustment affect it? So I'm aiming for maybe like June. I honestly have no idea, but I just know I'm probably going to be competing late 2019, so I'll probably start it early summer. But yeah, I feel like it will affect it a little bit. It'll probably make it a little bit harder because, like I mentioned in my Get Ready With Me video, like we're a lot more adventurous and we do a lot more here, so it's going to be a little bit harder to try to do all that social stuff while being on prep. I mean, I've done it before, but I feel like it's going to be more than it was in California, so it will be a little tricky, but I'm not going to let that stop me. Favorite skin/hair product. So I'm actually going to do an April favorites video that includes a couple hair and skin products, so hold off on that and wait for my April favorites. Is it possible to get stage ready for a comp without hiring a coach? I highly advise against this. I just think no matter how good you are, no matter how much you know, it's not always about the knowledge, it's about having a second eye. And especially because we are so hard on ourselves, I think that it's just not the smartest idea. I think you should always have another opinion, and another set of eyes looking at you instead of strictly just being you with yourself. I don't know, I just think it's kind of a dangerous, slippery slope to go down, but yeah, I think I would highly, highly recommend it. And also, I really hate when people say, if you're a good enough coach, why do you need a coach? I think this has nothing to do with knowledge. It has to do with accountability and also, like I said, having another set of eyes on you. If it was up to me, I would probably cut my calories so much lower because we look at ourselves and say like, oh no, girl, you're not ready, when we're on the right path and we need someone to say, no, you're on the right path. So I don't know, I just think it's kind of a dangerous thing to do, just depending on the person, I guess, but also the accountability factor is so major, and I would recommend it. Do you think you'll ever shift to intuitive eating? Yes. probably, I mean, yeah, in the future, I'm not going to track macros forever. Are you on birth control? If so, does it affect your competing? No, I'm not on birth control. I was on it when I was like 16 maybe, but other than that, I've been off of it because blood clots run in my family, and my mom had a few major blood clots, and birth control does give risks of getting blood clots, so I'd rather be safe than sorry and just not be on it. How did you deal with low energy levels during final weeks of prep? I'm so bad at these questions because honestly, like, I just deal with it. I try to sleep a little more, but honestly, like, my first prep, I was working doubles at a bar almost all of peak week, and I just, like, you just do it. If it's something you are passionate about, like, you gotta just embrace the suck because it's only a few weeks, and you know, it was your choice to do it. So other than like prioritizing sleep, and if you're allowed to do like energy drinks and maybe a little more caffeine, but other than that, there's no like secret to it. Do you have shows picked out for this season yet? No, I don't. I actually should probably look, but like I said, I'm thinking late 2019, but I don't have like specific shows in mind. Best advice for fat loss other than being in a caloric deficit, as calories are already really low. So there is no other way to lose fat than being in a deficit, unless you want to add in a disgusting amount of cardio, which I really don't recommend. I guess if you're already extremely low and you're not losing fat, that's your body's way of saying feed me and I'm done with this. So I would recommend slowly adding calories, doing a reverse, and sucking it up until you get to a healthy caloric intake to where you can then again start lowering and create a deficit. Sometimes your body is going to fight you because it's over it, and I think that's probably where your body's at. If you're already extremely low and you're not losing, that's a big red flag, and I think you need to start a reverse and go from there. What will you do after fitness? I don't really know. Fitness in general, I think I'm gonna do for my whole life. If you're talking about like my fitness career, I have literally no idea, honestly, and I have a few questions like this. And I will say that it stresses me the hell out when I get asked something like this because I don't know. And obviously, like, Instagram and, you know, YouTube are not forever careers or career paths. And it gets me really anxious, I guess, when I don't have a, you know, like, set plan. But none of this was in my plan. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know. And I'm just taking it day by day, week by week, month by month. And I'm going to figure it out as I go. Whatever new opportunities come my way, whatever new ideas I have or new paths I want to go down, like, that's going to lead me to what I'm going to end up doing. But I don't have a set plan as of right now. And I don't feel the need to force a set plan or know what I'm going to do after what I'm doing right now, because none of this was planned, and so things happen and things pop up, and like sometimes you stumble across things that you fall in love with, and then there you are. So I don't know is the short answer. Would you consider yourself a people pleaser? Because I struggle with people's approval and my parents don't get my passion for competing. Yes, I would say I definitely am a people pleaser, but definitely was way more than I am now because I've learned that, like, this is my life and this is the only shot I have in this life. And yes, it sucks to have your family not understand or have your best friends not understand or something like that, but if it's something you're passionate about, like, I'm not gonna let someone's opinions or not understanding me hold me back, because if it's something I really want and this is my life and this is my only shot to live it, like, I'm gonna just do it. So yes, I am a people pleaser, but to a point now I feel like I've become more, I guess you could say, selfish in doing what makes me happy, I guess. Is Colorado cheaper than California to live in? So guys, I don't think so, honestly. The housing, yeah, kind of, but I feel like it's higher than like a lot of the country still. But I'm talking Denver. Colorado in general, if you want to go like way out, housing and everything, cost of living is probably very cheap. But in Denver, I don't see that big of a difference, to be honest. Food is not that much cheaper. I feel like we actually sometimes pay more at certain places. I know Starbucks, my order costs more here. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of actual housing, it depends on where you're living, and I also don't really feel comfortable sharing my rent price. I've actually had a lot of people ask, how much is your rent? And I feel like that's kind of like an inappropriate question to ask, just because I don't really want to share my finances like that. But if you want, there's so many things online where you can go to Zillow and stuff like that and find certain housing and the prices on there, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on the area of Colorado because Denver, I don't think is that much cheaper. How long are your workouts? So this completely depends on the day. Legs, I would say an hour and a half maximum because like if I'm doing compound lifts, it's more rest time. It's just a lot more taxing and I feel like I'm a little bit slower moving through them. Whereas like shoulders, I could do a 30-minute workout and be done. So I would say like 45 minutes to an hour and a half. When do you plan on shredding again? I guess June maybe starting. I don't know. I don't have plans. I'm so go with the flow right now that I don't have plans and I don't want to like put pressure on myself because I really like where I'm at. So I don't know. I'm gonna say probably early summer. Okay, so I'm just gonna answer a few more. When will the next Blossom release be? I'm thinking. Okay, so I placed my 2 bulk orders for the next products. But I feel like it'll probably be another 3 weeks or so. So I'm hoping for early May at the latest, but it's kind of looking like early May. What are you going to miss most about California? I would say the palm trees and I guess the weather. The weather in Colorado is really nice too, but obviously you have to go through a winter and I just feel like there's a little bit more weather here. Whereas California, it was kind of rare to see anything but like sunny days. And then what do you love most about Colorado? I feel like right now it's just like our environment that we're in. I love our place. I love the area that we're in. I just feel like there's a lot to do here and it's a little bit more of a motivating environment for me. So I don't know, those are kind of the things I like about it right now. I mean, we've only been here for like a week and a half, so I don't totally know, but right now it's kind of like the environment that I'm in. I really, really am enjoying it. How do you get ahead in life with money? So this just comes down to saving. So for me, I literally never had a savings account because I wasn't ever making enough to save. My financially stable time started, honestly, when I was working multiple things, like when I was actually at a 9-to-5 or waitressing and then also doing this on the side. That was when it was kind of just like I had a little bit more spare money because I added in that side thing. So I feel like unless you're making a lot at your regular job, having a side thing, a side hustle, I kind of hate that word, but is extremely beneficial in terms of saving and like getting ahead. But other than that, I don't really know. There's no like secret thing to do to get ahead. Be very spending conscious, and if you want to save money, don't buy things that you want, I guess, only things that you need. So saving is kind of the only answer. Any tips to conquer gym anxiety? So I actually made a video about this called gym intimidation or something, overcoming gym intimidation. But I would say do some research before you go. So like have a workout planned, watch videos on how to do the workout so you don't feel like you don't know what you're doing. Walk in with your plan and just freaking execute it. And once you like get more comfortable in the gym and with certain things, it's literally gonna feel like nothing, but you have to just do it. No one starts out knowing what they're doing. Everyone starts out as a beginner at some point, and majority of the time, nobody's judging you, no one's looking at you. And I know it feels like sometimes you think you're doing something wrong or you think somebody's looking at you, but majority of the time, everyone's in there minding their own business. I know I am. When I go, I don't really like, look at my surroundings and say like, what is that person doing? Like, if they're doing something, great. Like, do you. It's a lot more of a mental thing than it really is a real thing. So I would say be confident and comfortable with what you're doing. So have a plan, research the movements beforehand. You can bring up YouTube videos or Instagram videos while you're at the gym. Like, don't feel embarrassed to do that if you need to check form or remember like what a certain movement is. And also having an outfit that you feel comfortable in is helpful too. I know that sounds silly, but it is actually really helpful. And this is gonna be my last question for this one. How many / how long were your best off seasons to put on size? So to me, the primary rule of off season would be to take off as long as you dieted for. So I dieted for like 8 months last year, so I'm already more than 8 months into my off season, I believe, so that at minimum should be what you're aiming for, but I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I want to say at least 6 months, and that's just like a general broad statement to give you time to let your body recover, but also build muscle and like actually change your physique. If you're taking 2 months off season, like you can't change your physique much in that time frame. So I would say at least 6 months, and again, that's just a very general broad statement. It's going to be different for everyone, but for me, this is definitely the most successful off season I've had, and I know I'm over 8 months. I might be at 9 months, I'm not sure. But yeah, so definitely as long as you dieted for and then some, especially if you really want to grow and really make changes in your physique, that is what I would recommend. And I think that's it because I don't know how long this video is, but it's definitely over 20 minutes, so I don't want it to be too long, so I'm going to cut it here, but just know I'm going to be doing another at least 2 probably. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Comment below anything else you have questions about. Let me know. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
That's a vegetable, rest in peace, I'm deceased. That's my car's not a lease, and that's Vinci, not a crease. Firmly grounded like some cleats. I'm like, heard your homie send a leak, I listened to